So you've decided to rebuild your deck and you've decided to use composite decking. And you've actually narrowed it down to two very popular brands, TimberTech and Fiberon. And now you're trying to figure out which two between these two decking boards are going to be the best for you to have a low maintenance deck that you can enjoy. By the way, we haven't met before yet. I'm Ryan from decksbye3.com, where you can find much more detailed information comparing different composite deckings and how to enjoy your deck and some features about how to build your deck. But let's get back to the fact of the matter. Fiberon versus TimberTech. Which is the best decking for you? First of all, we must address the elephant in the room. Both Fiberon and TimberTech AZEK have a PVC collections and lines within their companies. Today, we are not going to talk about the PVC decking, which is in a whole different category. Yes, it's low maintenance, but it's not really composite decking because it's entirely made of PVC. We are going to discuss the composite decking that both Fiberon and TimberTech make. First of all, we should start at their core. What's the very heart of the decking? So, Fiberon really shoots to make a lot of their decking out of recycled material. They vary between 94 and 90% of the decking material is recycled content. TimberTech doesn't quite go that high. They have up to 80%, not meaning that they have 80%, but the maximum amount of recycled material in any TimberTech board is going to be 80%. Whatever you think of that. Another little thing here, just looking at these two boards, that is not a good, well, maybe you can see it there. There's a slight profile is a little bit different there. See if I can turn the angle here to get a better angle. The TimberTech has just a little bit more of a bevel on the bottom of the board. Not sure that's to help the water run off or how the clipping system works together. But it's something to note there. The biggest difference between the two is probably capping. Unfortunately, they do not have consistent capping like Trex. They have both capped all four sides and capped only on three sides. So the capped four sides, let's just jump to the Fiberon. Both the horizon and their symmetry, or they put all in group together as an accordion collection, are capped on all four sides. But they do it a little bit better than what TimberTech does, and of their four sides, so this is the bottom of the board, this is the top of the board. It is finished, embossed, completely the same both on the top and the bottom, making their boards reversible and having a nice beautiful appearance on the underside if you have a two-story deck. Where TimberTech, even when it does wrap a full four sides, doesn't finish the very bottom of their decking. It's just a simple brown color or gray color depending on the board you have. Another little thing of note is TimberTech, when wrapping all four sides, well, I'm going to put this up really close. They actually put their capping right inside their groove, giving you 100% sealing. Where Fiberon, even when they cap all four sides and go to the work of actually embossing those sides, they just cut in the groove. So it's uncut, it's cut and unprotected there. So there's kind of a little distinction between the two. And then, the TimberTech Edge for years always claimed that their decking was capped on all four sides and therefore was superior. But they've now moved away there to make a more economical board. So the TimberTech Edge is only capped on the top, the sides, and inside the groove. But that is not always consistently so. Sometimes it stops at the top of the groove, sometimes it wraps all the way around and is included inside the groove. You can actually see that on these two boards here. Both the Edge collection, just slightly different ways of how it's capped. For Fiberon, when they cap on the, they wrap it all the way, they cut it down to wrap it to the bottom here, but they cut the groove back in. Both Fiberon and TimberTech have scallop boards, and that is where the material is removed from the bottom there to reduce the weight of the board, and more importantly, reduce the cost of the board. In regards to traction of the two, they all both rate fairly poor for traction, and that is one of the problems that composite decking has. You can actually go, I wrote a more extensive article on best composite boards for traction. PVC generally rates higher, but between the two, the traction is one thing to note. Just seeing if I can grab my two, let's just pick these two ones here, this is a Good Life board from Fiberon. Look at the deep embossing wood grains on it. And this is Brown Oak, the Terrain Collection from TimberTech. See, they always have the shallow embossing. This is fairly consistent with the decking lines. TimberTech will give you shallow embossing. Fiberon will give you deep embossing. Largely for aesthetics, but I think it does have some implications for traction. There's much more that you can learn about these two decking lines. Again, like I say, show notes below, link to the fuller article. But let's go warranty before we wrap this up. Warranty, they're all over the map. And this actually is a little bit more complicated to understand. So I'm just going to say, probably go Google it and find out the best answer. But with TimberTech, they have two different warranties. They have the 25-year for the TimberTech Edge series is 25 years, which is comparative to Fiberon's Good Life, which also, the Weekender collection, also has a 25-year warranty. The TimberTech Pro, which is their better line, just trying to find my Pro board. Here's a Pro board. It's their better line, has a 30-year warranty, where Fiberon really puts the doubles down on the warranty. Like I said, the Good Life starts at 25 years. You jump up to the Concordia collection, and I missed the Sanctuary. I should have missed the Sanctuary. The Sanctuary collection gets you 40 years. The Concordia collection gets you 50 years, which is competitive with PVC decking, the most durable synthetic decking that's probably on the market these days. So if you like warranty, and warranty is very important to you, Fiberon is probably going to be better decking for you. But beyond that, choosing between the two, they're both very durable, similarly made product. One has a slightly higher recycled content than the other, and they do cap it a little bit different, but largely it's going to come down to looks. And just looking today, I should get two different companies there. It is really going to be the embossing, I think, that's going to make the difference between the two. Deeper embossing with Fiberon, shallower embossing with TimberTech. There's color variations and all that kind of good stuff. It does set your decking apart, but appearance is really going to decide for you which one's best for you. Beyond that, it's going to warranty. Either way, it's going to be a good synthetic decking, low maintenance, that you can enjoy your deck for many years to come.